Did you know that one of the signs that you are in a healthy relationship is predictability? And I'm not saying that in a boring way, that you know your partner's every step. It's not about that. It's that you can predict how they're going to react to a certain situation. And that's what makes a healthy relationship. Hello and welcome back. My name is Valentina. In this video, I'm gonna go over a couple of points, a couple of ideas and lessons I wish I knew when I was younger. I wish someone taught me. I wish someone enlightened me when I was getting in and out of relationships. It took me, unfortunately or fortunately, a couple of years to actually understand myself better and to know what a healthy relationship requires and how to identify one. First thing is, as I said before, it's predictability and boredom to some degree, and not in a bad way. When I say boredom, it means there are no emotional roller coasters. You are in a calm state of mind. Your emotions are calm. Your feelings are calm. You are not going up and down when it comes to your expectations, when it comes to your relationship. So it's not that your partner doesn't excite you. I'm sure he does. It's just that your partner doesn't worry you. And when you don't have that worry, that tightness in your stomach, that is definitely one of the first signs of a healthy relationship. You should not always feel like you're on your toes and you cannot predict what's gonna happen next. At least for me, one of the first signs that I clued in, because I am in a healthy relationship over the last almost 2 years, is I don't have that stomach tightness. Some people call it butterflies. I call it stress. It's definitely stress. Another thing that I learned, and we did very much early on with my partner, it's open communication and not leaving any stone unturned. If there's anything that you think might jeopardize your relationship in the future or make your partner feel disappointed or feel left out, like they should have known this information about you, it's so much better to be straight up front, and then the person you are trying to get into a relationship will decide for themselves whether or not they are okay with everything that you have to say about yourself, about your past, about your life. You don't want anyone to hold any leverage over you. Anyone, your friends, your enemies, anyone who will try, hopefully not, to break you guys up or to jeopardize anything you are getting into. Make sure that all cards are on the table. And again, I learned it from personal experience that if you are open from the get-go, at least you will know if the other person is okay with everything. If they're not, that's gonna give you a chance not to attach too much, not to get too involved and then hurt each other. Communication is the key, and don't feel ashamed, embarrassed, or whatever you went through, whatever happened in your life shaped you, made you who you are. And if you are loved by your partner, then it should not be anything that you say that happened or you went through would turn them down or turn them off. Which brings me to another point, is that you should feel that comfort level, that inclination to come clean about certain things and to be open about certain things. That's another huge green flag, I would say, for a healthy relationship, is when you feel like you will not be judged. You will probably, be questioned more, and you should be open and ready to be honest and to any kind of questions that might arise. But the whole point of you being able to be honest with the other person, it's the level of comfort they give you. It's how comfortable they make you feel in your own skin for you to be able to open up about certain things. One of the major points, and I'm watching my daughter as she is in her first serious relationship with a boy, and he's not always up to going with her when she wants to go out, and she's not a party animal, but she's 16, and this is the time when you want to explore, you want to go to some music festivals, you want to go to a party, you want to go hang out with your friends. He's a bit more of an introvert, so I see that this is a little bit of a conflict when it comes to their relationship, and I was very much open and clear about it, and I told her that whatever feels like it's a red flag at the beginning is really going to bother you later on. And trust me, because I went through that, and my first marriage failed because of many other things, but one of the major things is that I was an extrovert and I wanted to be out and about, and my husband at the time was more of an introvert and he preferred to stay at home. And because I went through a similar situation, I'm telling my daughter that this is a red flag when it comes to you, to your personality. For someone else, this might be fine. Not everyone is up for it. I can adjust to him not wanting, to her not wanting to be out. But if you are an outgoing person and you want to be out and about and you want to spend time with your friends and you want to party, then you should find a like-minded person. You should find someone who is willing to do that with you. First of all, it's bonding. It's very much bonding when you are enjoying the same thing with your partner, just exactly the same thing as I'm enjoying working out and stretching and being active with my partner. This is such a huge bonding for us because we are inspired by the same things. We look towards the same direction. Yeah, we might not have a lot of touching points and we might not like everything that one and each person does, but the majority of things, you should really join your partner into whatever they're doing. And hopefully you are into the same thing, whether it's partying, whether it's hikes, whether it's working out, whether it's dancing, whatever it is. Another really major point is red flags and conflict resolution. And I learned that just recently, that not every red flag is a reason to break up with someone, because a red flag caught early on can teach you how to deal with conflict resolution, how to actually get along with each other. Because if you got into a serious relationship, which looks as a healthy relationship early on, and there are certain things that you might, oh my God, ding, 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 red flag. But if you can actually talk it out and point it to the other person, maybe to them it was not a red flag. Maybe it comes as a trauma response from a previous relationship. So if you are spotting on the red flags from the beginning, that is going to teach you conflict resolution. That is going to teach you how to accept certain things about each other and how to actually make your peace with it. If you are going to be super clear about it, and if you're going to be open, again, going back to communication, this might not be a big issue for your partner to correct. So not every red flag should be a reason for you to break up. And if you can work through the red flags, that is going to make your relationship that much healthier, that much stronger, and that's going to teach you how to actually make up and not let little things get in the way of bigger things. Patience and understanding, and I was going through all of my relationships with very, very little patience for the other person, and I would say very little understanding. I was much more, I'm sure a lot of us are guilty of it, I was very much self-centered and thinking that, you know, it's either my way or the highway, and the other person needs to adjust if they really want to be with me, which is, now I know it, that it's a wrong approach to a healthy relationship. Because any healthy relationship, I'm not saying being a pushover, I'm not saying there should be a limit to your patience and understanding, but certain things we really should learn how to keep our mouth shut from time to time and be patient with the other person. I'm learning it as I am being in a healthy relationship, is sometimes it's just better to keep your mouth shut and not necessarily complain about every little thing that bothers you. Not everyone wants to hear that. Your partner is no exception. Doesn't matter how acceptant and how patient he is with you. He's going to flip at you, and probably rightfully so. You need to really learn how to manage your emotions and have patience. And I'm really teaching myself. I'm pregnant, so I'm a bit more jumpy now. I'm a bit more emotional, but I'm catching myself, and it's so funny to see yourself from like a third person. I'm catching myself that, Valentina, just shut up. You don't need to comment on every little thing he does, and you don't need to be upset and annoyed with every little thing, because this is what excited you at the beginning. This is what you fell in love with. This is the personality. This is what makes this human being the way he is. Again, there's a limit to it, but within that limit, whatever you think you can put up with, a certain amount of patience and understanding is another big thing when it comes to being in a healthy relationship. Trust and honesty. Honesty, yes, not just at the beginning. You should really be honest about certain things. If you don't want to be, like, I have children, and by the end of the day, I'm all touched out and I don't want to be touched. I don't want to be hugged. I just want to be left alone. If you are just going to push your partner without giving them a good reason and explaining yourself and being honest about how you feel, then your partner, your person is going to feel rejected. And that's the last thing you want to do. So if you are honest without being rude, without being mean, you can explain yourself. Trust me, if you are in a healthy relationship and if you pick the right partner, he or she will never have anything against it and will never take it personally. We just had this discussion with my partner yesterday, and because when we met each other, I already had children and we are co-parenting now. For him, it's a new territory, so he doesn't quite understand how can you be all touched out at the end of the day. But even he gets it now because children jump on him and they want attention, they want to be kissed, hugged, played with, and now he gets it.
I know, I want you to come with me too, but then if you come, I'm not going to get any work done.
And now he understands when I say at the end of the day, I don't want to be bothered for at least an hour and a half after the kids went to bed. Just give me some space and I'll come around, and just be honest and be open about it, because this is what you are, this is who you are, and you should not always change for the other person. And if something is bothering you, you should really be open about it. Trust is really important. I went through a not so trustworthy relationship where I didn't know half of the time where my partner is. I didn't know what he's doing. I felt like this is normal and this is okay. I should not always be involved in everything. But now, after being in a healthy and normal, trustworthy relationship, there really should not be any secrets between you two. The minute you start holding things back, it's all downhill from there. You gotta stop that right away in its tracks before it really breaks down your relationship, because trust can never be regained, no matter how much you try, no matter how honest you become from that point on. You really need to be trusting each other from the beginning of your relationship. There should not be any turned phones, closed laptops, hidden conversations, anything. And when I say trust, that means on all aspects, not just personal aspect, financial aspect, physical aspect. Are you a healthy person? Like, I wouldn't obviously turn down my partner, or that wouldn't be a ground reason for me to break up, but I want to know, how healthy are you? How are you taking care of yourself? How are your finances? How are you emotionally? Are you stable? Did you do any drugs at some point? Like, I want to know your family history. If I'm getting involved with you, I want to know things about you, which brings back to the first point I mentioned about being open. If there's someone who has a disease in your family that's being genetically passed on, I want to know about it. I want to have everything out in the open so I can decide for myself whether or not I'm okay with it. So definitely trust is one of the major things, and make sure you are open about all aspects of your life if you want to be in a healthy and open-minded relationship. Active listening is another very important thing in a healthy relationship. Just put that phone down, look your partner into their eyes, and make sure they are heard and you are there. One of the things that me and my partner do is we gave up watching TV. Very rarely we watch TV. We would rather have a conversation, talk to each other, just spend time together. And it doesn't need to be all the time sexual. The real bonding and the real connection happens usually on emotional level. So if you feel like you don't communicate enough and you feel like you want to spend more time with your partner, introduce some rules and regulations for your relationship, like no phones past 9 o'clock, at least 1 hour of conversation before going to bed about the day, about what we're gonna do tomorrow, about what bothered me about this day. So definitely have something, pillars, important pillars that your relationship is standing on. Other than that, good luck in finding your happily ever after. It does exist. It's not only in fairy tales. Don't settle. Make sure that your personality is going to attract the like-minded person. Don't give up on who you are. just to accommodate someone. Anyways, good luck in finding your happily ever after, and do comment what do you think are major points when it comes to being in a healthy relationship, and I will see you in my next video.